Hi there, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. It's kind of slow here on this Sunday. I held back a couple shinier things for tomorrow that I want to talk about during the week, as the weekday numbers tend to be a little bit bigger. Jay Leno's Law has passed its first hurdle in the California legislature. Named after Jay Leno, who co-authored the bill, Leno's Law would change how classic car owners navigate anti-smog laws in the state of California. You see, the California Air Resources Board currently requires all vehicles built in 1975 or later to undergo a smog check every 2 years. Under the terms of Leno's Law, smog checks would no longer be required for vehicles 35 years or older if they're insured as a collector car, so that would move the deadline up to 1990. Jay Leno told supporters, "I know there's nothing more annoying than Hollywood people involved in politics, so I'll just try to keep that to a minimum, but this one's important to me because I'm an enthusiast." California helped invent car culture. From lowriders in East LA to muscle cars in the Central Valley, these cars tell the story. SB 712 is about keeping that story alive. These vehicles are driven occasionally, not daily, and it just makes sense to treat them differently. I'm proud to be working with Senator Grove, and I thank the committee for recognizing the importance of preserving our automotive legacy. I laugh. Here in New Jersey, when you go for inspections, the only thing they check right now is the emissions. Seriously, you could roll up with cracked windows, no door, a taped-on bumper, been there, done that. Nobody cares. As long as you pass the emissions, you're good. The LA Times caught up with Leslie David Baker. Now you're like, who's Leslie David Baker? He's Stanley on The Office. Remember that guy? You've seen The Office? You're familiar with the character Stanley? You know who I'm talking about now? Yeah, of course. Leslie says, "I know you hear some celebrities say it's a bother when people call me by my character name. It's a bother when people are talking about the show I did this many years ago. But for him, it's an honor and a privilege to have that kind of recognition." The LA Times tells us, much like Stanley, Baker loves a good snack break, which is good because his name is Baker. He's in partnership with frozen snack band Tasteless. Tasteless? Tastlez? Tasteless? You guys tell me. I'm going to go with Tasteless because it's funnier. They were curious, what is Leslie's Sunday routine? And Johnny Mac wisely held on to the story, thinking someday there'll be a slow Sunday and you'll wish you had this story. That's today, my friends. He wakes up at 10 a.m. Dude, what are you doing? 10 a.m.? You only wake up at 10 a.m. when you're in college or right out of college and you're hungover. You don't sleep till 10 a.m. when you're an adult. How old is this guy? Stanley's 67 years old. What are you doing? Get up. 10 a.m. He wakes up and enjoys a cup of coffee. Then he takes a shower. And I'm going to pause here to put that mental image in your brain because it's a slow news day. Stanley from The Office taking a shower. You're thinking about it. I know. I'm thinking about it too. At noon, Stanley's perfect Sunday would involve a very long brunch. He says, if I'm at Bottega Louie, I'm going to have their portobello fries. They serve it with a nice garlic. They also have a nice pizza. It's drizzled with honey and sliced red peppers. That sounds delicious. But if he finds himself at the San Vicente Bungalows, he'd get one of their omelets, and their chocolate chip cookies are his favorites. At 2:30 on his perfect Sunday, he would go to a flea market, specifically the Melrose Trading Post. Leslie told the Times, "I got a chair and a statue there for my house. It's fun, parking's convenient, and it's right down the street from Cantor's Deli, so after brunch you're like, I'm not cooking dinner tonight. Go by Cantor's Deli and get something for later." At 5 o'clock, he says he might head over to the Grove. There's a meat market there, M-E-A-T. Stanley's not looking to pick up chicks. He's looking to eat. They have sausage. At 7 o'clock, Leslie would like to hit up a steakhouse. I'm fully aware I keep bouncing between Leslie and Stanley. It's on purpose. Did I mention it's a slow news day? I'm trying to make a show out of this. I'm going to get a text from Scott Beckett, and he's going to be like, slow news day? And I'm going to be like, yeah, I mentioned it. Leslie says, when I want a really good steak, I go to Mastro's. I'd order gin with ginger beer, a splash of bitters, and a twist of lemon or orange. That's a good cocktail. At 9:30, he would catch a live show. On a Sunday night? Dude, if I'm not in bed by 9:29 p.m. on a Sunday night, my whole week is thrown off. But then again, he didn't get up till 10 a.m. His bedtime, midnight, he tells the LA Times. LA doesn't stay open as late as Chicago or New York, so usually by midnight, I'm home, especially if I have to get up and go to work. Sounds rough getting up at 10 o'clock every day. All right, we might as well get to the festival stuff. Brad Paisley, the country music guy, he's doing a benefit today to support his free grocery store called The Store. Paisley said it's an amazing event. in terms of the fact that comedy for charity is my favorite way to raise money for anything. Most charity events are too long. Most of them are asking a lot that people attend. You're asking for money, you're asking for time, usually feeding them a badly catered meal. There's an auction that takes too long. None of that is a part of this. This is what we call it groceries with dignity, comedy without. The store is a nonprofit organization that offers a free referral-based grocery store to Nashville families with food insecurity. They opened their first location in 2020. Last fall, they revealed plans for a second store. Paisley describes groceries with dignity, comedy without as a roast and comedy night that just so happens that we raise hundreds of thousands of dollars to feed people. That's awesome. It's at Zany's tonight. Doors open 5:15, show at 6 p.m. Tickets! Now, it's a fundraiser, so don't eye roll this, okay? This isn't Ali Wong charging you $116 for a practice show or whatever that was the other day. This one, $250. It's a fundraiser, okay? Let's see what else is happening at Nashville tonight. At the Ryman at 7 o'clock, Wanda Sykes. And at the Lab at Zany's at 8:30, Amber Autry's stand-up Get Down. Let's see what this is. Amber Autry is an international touring comedian hailing from Nashville. She's been featured on Peacock TV. Amber's relatable observations and electric energy make every audience feel like they're the best friend. So basically, it's a nondescript comedy show, as far as I can tell. All right, that's the Nashville Comedy Festival for this year. I get to delete the tab and get some of my browser space back. Let's see what's happening at Moon Tower tonight. Johnny Mac, you usually do the festival stuff in the second half. Is it a slow news day? Oh, can you tell? Only one show at Moon Tower tonight, 7 o'clock. Tiffany Haddish, the Funny and Fearless Tour at the Paramount Theater. Now, I'm kind of annoyed. I didn't know the Macau Comedy Festival was going on this week because I would have talked about it. It opened on Wednesday with Peppa Pig's Fun Day Out, which is a Mandarin stage adaptation of the popular British children's series. So that's not your typical comedy festival. Now, unfortunately, the festival only ran through today, Sunday, and the way time zones work, by the time you're hearing this, you're not going to make it in time. But there were comedy megastars there. That's right. Shen Tang, Ma Li. Not somebody named Molly. This is Ma Li. They were there. Bet you're sad you missed it. Congrats to the Woodlawn Comedy Club in San Antonio, Texas. They opened up last night. This is the place Pauly Shore is part of. Told you about that. I got a nice note from the owners. Hi, guys. Good to hear from you. Got some good shows coming up. April 26th, Michael Winslow's there. Remember him? He's the sound effects guy from movies like 40 years ago. Isn't that who Michael Winslow is? Yes, the man of 10,000 sound effects. You know this guy. May 3rd, Tom Cotter and Carrie Louise. May 10th, Stephen Michael Quezada. You know who that is? He's the guy from Breaking Bad. What was his character's name? Shout it out at your phone to remind me while I look it up. He played Agent Stephen Gomez on Breaking Bad. He's a comedian. May 17th, Caroline Ray. June 28th, Bill Bellamy. And there's some other shows in there in between. Here's a fun thing I saw while putting together the Palace Intrigue podcast. Palace Intrigue is the show where we talk about the British royal family. I'm the writer on it, and I can assure you, we make fun of Meghan Markle. There's a lot of money to be made making fun of Meghan Markle. So while I was Googling Meghan Markle, I learned that Meghan has invested into the $600 billion menopause market with a fresh investment in MIDI Health. Now, John, we get it's a slow news day, but why are you mentioning this? Because the article said some of the other high-profile investors include Amy Schumer. Very interesting. The Simpsons is still on. Unlike Bob's Burgers, which has never aired, clearly The Simpsons exists, although, much like Bob's Burgers, it's entirely possible that The Simpsons have just been pretending to be on for the last 20 years or so. I know The Simpsons at least used to exist. I'm not sure it actually still exists, but they keep claiming there are new episodes even though nobody's seen them. And stick around after the fake Simpsons for the fake Bob's Burgers. 2 questions. 1, have you ever seen Bob's Burgers? No. 2, have you ever met anyone who's seen Bob's Burgers? The answer is also no. Anyway, were you to put on Fox tonight, you would be like, hey, one of the bullies has a new voice. What's going on there? Well, you see, voice actor Pamela Hayden retired. Jimbo Jones, now played by Mo Collins as of tonight. That is your slow as heck comedy news for today. It wasn't the worst show I've ever done, but also not the one that I will send to the Podcast Hall of Fame. I definitely have good stuff for tomorrow because A, I'm about to record it, and B, I know that I held it back. Tomorrow's really good. Today, it's a slow news Sunday. Go have some brunch with Stanley. See you tomorrow.